Good morning, students. The today's topic is introduction to the cloud computing. So let's start with this topic. The first of all, the cloud computing is the on-demand availability of the computer system resources, especially the data storage and computing power, without direct active management by the user. Large cloud often have the functions distributed over the multiple locations, each location being a data center. In simplest term, cloud computing means storing and accessing the data in the programs on remote servers that are hosted on the internet instead of computer's hard drive or the local server. Cloud computing is also referred as the internet based computing. So what it means, the introduction of the cloud computing is this, that it is on demand availability of computer resources. So what it means, whenever we are going to work with some applications, and right now we are required some applications, so that is a particular demand at that time. So we can simply log in with the username and the password and directly go to the that particular software. That's why everything, either the data storage or the computing power or the number of softwares, they all are available 24 by 7 on the internet. With the help of internet, we can use all the services that are available on the remote servers. Remote servers means that are not stored or executed on our hard disk, our laptop's hard disk, that are saved on the remote servers, the servers that are placed somewhere else. Everything is available over there. So this is the definition of cloud computing. These are following visions of cloud computing. Now we have the number of points over there which can show the vision of cloud computing. Cloud computing provides the facility to provision virtual hardware, runtime environment, and services to a person having money. So what it means, it is a on-demand availability of everything. So what it means, it can give us a virtual hardware. Virtual hardware means the virtually we can use the hardware, but that hardware is not available at our side. That is available on the remote side. These all things can be used as long as they are needed by the users. All the number of applications, the computing power, the storage capacity, that all these things can be used by us only when we required it or when we needed it. Whenever our program is ended, we are not going to work with these computing power and work with these softwares. The whole collection of computing system is transformed into a collection of utilities which can be provisioned and composed together to deploy systems in hours rather than the days, with no maintenance cost. So what it means, it is a collection of different utilities. Utility means the different functions. The functions either in the mode of computing power, the functions either in the mode of softwares, or the functions that are available in the mode of platform. They all are available to the user when we want to use it, and without no maintenance cost. We are not going to maintain these hardware or software or the computing power. Why? Because these can be maintained by the server side, or you can say the cloud computing server, which provides the services of the cloud computing. It is simply you can compare it with the postpaid connections. Either that we have a postpaid connections, what we can do, we can make a number of calls, we can use a number of data. At the end of the month, whenever the cycle is completed for that particular month, a bill is generated and we have to pay that bill. Same in the case of this, everything is available to us, and the different things that can be used by the user, we are only pay for that things. Clear? The long-term vision of the cloud computing is that IT services are traded as utilities in an open market without the technological and the legal barriers. So what it means, what are the technological and the legal barrier means? Suppose if I want to run a Windows on my system, I have to purchase a valid window, not a copy of that window. And technological means whenever I want to execute a number of softwares, it required a minimum hardware, it required a minimum hard disk on our system. So these things are not required in this case, because The lot of hardware space, the lot of computing power, and the lot of softwares, they are available at the remote side. We are not going to purchase it. Clear? In the future, we can imagine that it will be possible to find the solution that matches with our requirements by simply entering our request in a global digital market and trades with cloud computing servers. So what will be happen in the future? Whenever we required anything, we simply search it on the cloud computer servers. We use these applications and log out from our service. So what it happens? No need to install or no need to buy these highly cost softwares. We are going to use this software for a small amount of time, and at the end of the month we have to pay for that. It is not mandatory for us to purchase these softwares because they are available at the remote server. The existence of such market will enable the automation of the discovery process and it integration into the existing software system. Now everything is available in the market. Whenever we required it, we are simply go for it. So what it means, it enables the automation of discovery of processes, means the number of processes that are available in the cloud. Suppose I am going to work with some simple software, the 100 similar softwares, they are available on the cloud. It depends upon me which version I am going to be using it without installing it on our system. Next, due to the existence of global platform for trading cloud services will also help service providers to potentially increase their revenues automatically. Whenever a number of users they are increased on the cloud computing, so the service provider of the cloud computing, they simply increase their revenues because the postpaid connections are there. If I am using the number of applications, for example, it has suppose we have a Google Cloud is over there and it has the 10 users of it. Every user is using the number of software, the number of hardware, the number of computing power according to their use, and at the end of the month we have to pay for that. All the user, they have the different bill according to the different services used by that user. So automatically they can increase their revenues. Who can increase their revenues? The service provider. For example, we have the number of service providers are there. Google Cloud is there, Microsoft Azure is there, Amazon Web Services are there. Clear? A cloud provider can also become a consumer of the competitive services in order to fulfill its promises to the customer. A cloud provider also become a consumer. How it becomes a consumer? Because it can purchase a number of services from other company. Whenever it purchases the number of services from the other company, and these services are available for the users. In the near future, we can imagine a solution that suits our needs by simply applying our applications to the global digital market for the cloud computing services. So in the next future, we can imagine this thing that it becomes a solution for a number of things that are available in the global digital market, but these all services are available for each and every user. Now what we can do, we simply go for the username and the password, or we purchase a plan for cloud services. Then whenever we have a plan of this, everything is available for us. They are free of cost till we are not using that. Whenever we are going to use any software, they can make a bill cycle that for example, I am going for the ABC software and I use this software 10 minutes in particular month. So they can charge for only 10 minutes for that services from me. So that's why it is on demand services. Clear? The presence of this market will enable the acquisition process to automatically integrate with its integration into its existing software applications. The availability of the global cloud trading platform will also help service providers to increase their revenue. So automatically, whenever the number of things they are enabled and they are available in the market, so they can easily enable the automatically integration of different existing softwares. Suppose that we have the 100 different softwares are available, but we are not able to install all the softwares in our laptop or in our system. But whenever a cloud computing is there, no need of installing or purchasing any software. We can simply go for it and use any software that is required by us, that is available on the remote server. A cloud provider can also be a buyer of a competitive services to fulfill its promises to the consumers. As we discussed earlier, automatically the cloud provider can also buy some number of services for the other service provider to fulfill the promises to the customers. Whenever the services, if the services are not available in the Google Cloud, so they can simply purchase these services from the AWS, from Amazon Web Services. Whenever they purchase it, they can simply go give these services to our customers. Customer means the number of users who are using the cloud, the Google Cloud services over there. Clear? So this is the vision of the cloud computing. Vision means why we can use the cloud computing in the further future. So the next is cloud computing reference model. Now we have the cloud computing reference model is here. The reference model for cloud computing is an abstract model that categorized and standardized a cloud computing environment by partitioning it into the abstraction layers and cross-layer functions. We have the cloud computing reference model is there, but they can categorize into the two different categories according to the abstraction layers and cross-layer functions. So what is this? Now, this is a simple diagram of this. As we discussed earlier, only we have a three main services that is given by any service provider. Now look at your screen. The first is software as a service. So what it means, these are the end user application, scientific applications, office automation, photo editing, CRM, social networking. For example, every type of software that is available under the category of SaaS, that is software as a service. We are go for a service, and the name of the service is software as a service, in which every type of software is available over there. Like they give the example, the Google Documents, the Facebook, any other number of softwares are there, and we are simply going to use it. Now, this is a software as a service. Now look at the second, the platform as a service, means the runtime environment for the applications. What is runtime environment? On which the different applications can execute, on which a different number of softwares can be executed. So what it means, the different platforms are there. The different platform means the different operating systems are there. Depends upon these operating system, the number of softwares can be used, and the services of the platform is available to us under the category of PaaS, that is called platform as a service. Now the third one is the infrastructure as a service. So what it means, virtualized servers. What is infrastructure? Storage and networking. Storage means, suppose I am going to execute a software which requires a 5 GB RAM. So automatically it gives me a 5 GB RAM on that time. Suppose the next time I'm going to execute a software, it only required a 1 GB RAM. So automatically it can reduce from 5 GB to 1 GB. So what it means, the infrastructure is available for the user under the category of IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. Now they can categorize into the according to the services. Now this is a web interface. Web interface means the internet. With the help of internet, these are the users. We can interact with the cloud computing by using these three services: SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. So that this is the cloud computing reference model, in which it can give the three major services. What are these services? You have to write down the names of the services and what are the different things that comes under these services. So make these services according to the main service, and we have the users who can use with the help of internet to avail these all the services. Clear? If we look into the reference model as given above image, we will find the classification as we discussed: IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. Now, IaaS. IaaS, also known as the hardware as a service, or you can say the infrastructure as a service. Under the category of infrastructure, the hardware is available, the storage and the networking is available. It is one of the layers of the cloud computing platform. It allows customers to outsourcing their IT infrastructure, such as servers, networking, processing, storage, virtual machines, and other resources. Means all type of infrastructure is available for the user under the category of infrastructure as a service. Customers access these resources on the internet using pay as per use model, and the model is same: pay as per use. The more time you use the services, you have to pay for more. The less time you use that service, you pay for a less. means it can charge according to the time, the number of time you use the services, the number of time either you are using that particular services for the 10 minutes or you are using that particular service for the 60 minutes. The time in which you are using these services, you have to pay according to that at the end of the month, like a billing system is there. Clear? IaaS cloud computing platform layer eliminates the need for every organization to maintain the IT infrastructure. So what it means, no need to maintain the IT infrastructure. Maintain infrastructure means to maintain as the infrastructure that is available in our computer labs. We have the number of computers are there. They have their own CPUs. They have their own local memory. They have their own storage space. So if we are using the cloud computing, we only require a simple computer and internet. We can simply log in with that, and everything infrastructure is available by the service provider. IaaS is offered in the three models: public, private, and hybrid cloud. We have the three type of clouds. The private cloud implies the infrastructure resides at the customer premises. As the name implies, private cloud. If you are using the private cloud, then it implies the infrastructure in your home, in your organization. This is called the private cloud. In the case of public cloud, it is located at the cloud computing platform vendor's data center. For example, you are using the Facebook. It is a public cloud. Anyone can use the Facebook. You can simply make your account on the Facebook and go for it. And the number of things, number of peoples, their profiles, they are available on the Facebook for everyone. Clear? It is a public. And the hybrid means the combination of two. It is a combination of in which the customer selects the best of both public or the private cloud. Whenever your requirement is a mixture of public and private cloud, then you go for the hybrid cloud. We have the three different cloud: public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. Clear? IaaS provides the following services. The first one is it compute. Computing as a service includes the virtual central processing units, the virtual CPUs, which can process your request. Whenever you make a program, the program is executed. Who executes the program? Who maintains that logical calculations? The CPU. But in this case, we have the virtual CPUs over there. Clear? Second, storage. IaaS provider provides backend storage for storing files. They have the backend storage. No need of worry of storage. You can store any number of files. The storage is available at the remote site. We are not going to discuss this thing in our laptops that we have a less storage. The storage is available on the cloud side. Clear? Third, network. Network as a service provides a networking component such as router, switches, bridges for the virtual machines, VMS. That is called virtual machines. Suppose you make a network in our lab. You required what will you require? You require the systems. You require the routers. You require the switches. That you can see the switches are established in your labs. But whenever you are using the cloud computing, no need of any resource over there. No need of any infrastructure is there. No router, we require no router, no switch, no bridge, because these all the things can be required by the service provider. They are going to maintain it. We are not discussing this. Last, load balancers. It provides load balancing capacity at the infrastructure layer. Load balancer means which can balance the load. How they can balance the load? Means the number of customers are there. They require a computing power. So they have the load balancer who balance the load according to the different customers. That if the 10 customers are logging at the same time, suppose they have the 100 GB, for example, they can simply divide 10 GB to everyone. Suppose the next one is coming, they can automatically, instead of 10 GB, they are giving the 99 GB towards to all the customers, and remaining 9 GB available for the next customer. Who can balance this load? They have the load balancers over there. Clear? Now, second, PaaS, that is platform as a service. Platform as a service provides a runtime environment. Runtime means whenever application is developed. It allows programmers to easily create, test, run, and deploy web applications. Whenever you are making some web applications, you require operating system, and that is called the runtime environment. And it can be provided by the service under the category of platform as a service, that is PaaS. You can purchase these applications from a cloud service provider on a pay as per use basis and access them using the internet connection. In PaaS, backend scalability is managed by the cloud service provider. Who can maintain the backend activities? Cloud service provider. So end users do not need to worry about the maintaining the infrastructure. So what will be the output is there that everything is maintained by the service provider. We simply access the services. Clear? PaaS includes the infrastructure, platform as a service, servers, storage, networking, and platform. Basically, platform, which the middleware. Middleware means through which the applications can be executed on the laptop. Development tools. Development tools means runtime environment, database management systems, business intelligence, and more. All the platforms, they are, you can say, the runtime environment, they can be provided by the cloud service provider in the form of platform as a service to support the web application lifecycle. Web application lifecycle means whenever you're making any web applications, you require a runtime environment, and these different runtime environments can be provided by the cloud server in the form of PaaS, that is platform as a service. Now, PaaS provides the following services: programming languages, Java, Python, C Sharp, different application framework, different application frame .NET, in which you are performing your application. Databases, the databases that are directly connected with these programming languages. Suppose SQL, DBMS is there. Other tools that are used in web development. These all things can be provided by the PaaS, that is platform as a service. Clear? Now the third or the last one is SaaS, software as a service. SaaS is also known as on-demand software. Software that are available, but they are on demand. Number of softwares are there. It depends upon the user which software is currently used by that user. Clear? It is a software distribution model in which services are hosted by a cloud service provider. These services are available to the end users over the internet. With the help of internet, the users can use the services. The end users do not need to install any software on their device to access these services. So what will be happen? No need of install any software at your side, because every software is installed by the service provider. We simply log in our account and simply click on the software which we want to work with. No need of install. We are not going to install any software on our system. Clear? Now, there are the following services provided by the SaaS provider: business services, document management, social networks, mail services. So what it means, they are the different softwares, softwares which are used for the business services. Either you can take the example of MS Excel, they can make their spreadsheets over there. Document management, they are using the notepad for maintaining their documents. Social networks, they are the number of applications, softwares are there like Insta, Facebook, any other. Mail services, either you are go for the Gmail or you are go for the Yahoo Mail or Hotmail. These are the softwares that are available for every users with the help of software as a service category. Clear? So next is cloud deployment model. Now, a cloud deployment model represents a specific type of cloud environment distinguished by the ownership, size, and access. The deployment model tells where the cloud is located and for what purpose. Cloud deployment model means whenever we require the cloud services, they deploy the cloud according to my services or according to my requirement. And requirement basically depends upon three things. The first is ownership. Either a single person who is order for that cloud, or an organization is there. Second, the size. Size means number of computer systems that are simultaneously using that services. If the owner is a single person, then only the single system is executed at the same time. But if the owner is the organization and they have the lab or they have the 100 system, so what it means, we assume that 100 systems they are currently using that particular services. And third is access. Access means which type of your requirement. If you are a single person and you are going to use it for your personal for the personal requirement, so you are using the simple softwares. But if organization who purchase the cloud and they are work on the web development, so we assume that they are using the number of developing languages are there. They required different platforms, like they required Android, they required .NET, they required Java, PHP. So these are the three things on which the cloud deployment is depends. Clear? There are many cloud deployment and the services model, as cloud computing refers to the use of network of remote servers that are hosted over the internet. One of the most unique characteristics of the cloud computing is that the services from data storage to creation of software applications and can be availed as pay-per-use basis. The number of deployment models are there. They basically depend upon the user's requirement, and at the end they are available as pay-per-use basis. Pay-per-use means the connection is over with you whenever you are using. The number of softwares are there, or number of computing power is there, or number of storage is there. At the end of the month you have to pay according to that. Or the second is, you are like a postpaid connection, that you have to pay minimum this amount and everything is available to you. Like a prepaid connection is there. Prepaid connection means at the end of the month we go for a 1 month prepaid, recharge our mobile. So what will we get? We get a 1 GB data per day. We get a number of calls to any network. So it depends upon us. Either we are using the 1 GB, or some days you are only use the 100 MB of your data, but you have to pay a minimum amount for that. Either you are using the services or not using the services. Clear? So the types of deployment, or you can say the types of models that are available. Enterprises can choose to deploy applications on the public, private, or hybrid cloud. As we discussed in the earlier, cloud integrators can play a vital part in the determining the right cloud path for each organizations. Now they have the private cloud, they have the public cloud, they have the hybrid cloud. The new one is the community cloud is there. So let's start with the private cloud. A private cloud is secure environment located behind a firewall that permits authorized users only. Why it permit authorized? Because it is a private cloud. So what it means, suppose if you purchase a private cloud, you can give permissions to your friends or your customers by giving the username and password of someone who's having a username and password. Only he and she can enter into that private cloud. Otherwise, if someone having a no username or password is there, they cannot enter that particular cloud. Clear? It is designed, built, and operated for a single client. It is managed by the client's own team, but can also be managed by the third party. Private clouds are built exclusively for a single enterprises. The aim to address the concern on data security and offered great control, which is typically lacking in the public cloud. So what is the difference? They are the more secure cloud is there. This is called the private, and it is for the private organization. Suppose our college purchase a private cloud over there. So what it means, only that persons who are having the username password, only they can use this particular private cloud. I just give you an example. It is not of the cloud example, but I give you the example. Whenever you want to run internet on your cell phones on a college, whenever you click, whenever you connect it to the college internet, they can simply show you the that particular image, particular the window is open there, in which you have to enter the username and password. One, suppose that I have my username and password, I simply enter that username and password, and internet is working on my laptop. If you are not having a username and password, the network connection is there, you can connect to the network, but the internet is not working. So that this is the category of the private cloud. Clear? There are two variations to a private cloud: on-premise private cloud, extremely hosted private clouds. On-premise, it is also known as the internal cloud. This model provides a more standardized process and protection, but it is limited in size and scalability aspects. It is more secure, but the negative point is it is small in size, limited in size. We cannot increase the size of that cloud. And scalability aspect, scalability means scale in, scale out. Scale in means whenever we are going to add number of more computer system in that particular cloud, that is scale in. Scale out means whenever we are removing these number of computers from our cloud. Clear? Extremely hosted private cloud, this type of private cloud is hosted externally with a cloud provider, where the provider facilitates an exclusive cloud environment with full guarantee of privacy. Basically, this type of cloud is hosted extremely with a cloud provider who can maintain the cloud, a cloud provider. We are only using the services. Whether all the provider can facilitate exclusive cloud environment with full guarantee of privacy, means they can provide the services, but the cloud is hosted by the service provider. On premise means on my premise, the cloud is located in my organization. Extremely hosted means externally hosted means the cloud is hosted externally. Who externally means someone externally who can hosted the cloud. And who hosted the cloud? The service provider. Clear? Public cloud. This cloud infrastructure is built for the general public or the large industries groups and is owned by the managed by the cloud providers or the service provider. It may be owned, managed, operated by a business, academic, or the government organizations. These services are usually offered pay as per go model. Basically, they are the public cloud. They are publicly available for everyone. And the public cloud can be include the two options: shared public cloud, dedicated public cloud. Shared public cloud. The shared public cloud provides the benefit of the rapid implementation, massive scalability, and low cost of entry. It is delivered in a shared physical infrastructure where the architecture, customization, and the degree of security are designed and managed by the provider according to the market-driven specification. So what it means, the cloud is shared among all the persons and it is a public for everyone who can use that cloud. The service provider can maintain the physical infrastructure and they can manage this shared public cloud according to the market driven specifications. So what it means, what type of requirement is given in the market, they can upgrade their cloud according to that. This is called shared public cloud. Second, dedicated public cloud. The dedicated public cloud provides the similar to a shared public cloud. They are similar to shared, only the one thing is different, that is expect that it is delivered on a dedicated physical infrastructure. Means it is delivered on a dedicated physical infrastructure. It can be delivered or it can be available on the number of particular machines, that is not shared by anyone. Security, performance, and customization is better in this. Why the security is better? Because if you want to use this dedicated public cloud, you have to go to on that particular machines where it is working. But what will be happen in the case of shared public cloud? It is shared among all the public customers. It is available for everyone. Clear? Hybrid cloud. Hybrid cloud computing is deployment model which involves combining the use of multiple cloud services across a different deployment model in a particular, combining the use of the public cloud services with the private cloud services. Basically, hybrid is the combination of public and private. Sometimes a user who has a requirement of both the public and the private. Someone, suppose an organization who wants to restrict its data on the cloud, so they go for the private cloud. And same organization, they want to share some some part of data with the public, so they go for the public cloud. What it means, they required both the cloud at the same time, so they go for the hybrid cloud, because hybrid cloud is the combination of public and private. And the hybrid clouds are more complex than the other deployment model, since they involve the composition of two or more clouds. Clear? The last one is community cloud. Community cloud falls between the public and the private cloud with respect to the target set of customers. It is somewhat similar to the private cloud, but the infrastructure and the computational resources are exclusive to two or more organizations that have common privacy, security, and regularity considerations rather than the single organization. It is mainly used for the cost saving. Community clouds allows several companies work on the same platform. Now, the next is the community cloud. Basically, it lies between the public and the private. What it in the case of public, the cloud is available for everyone. In the case of private, the cloud is available for the single organization. But community cloud is made for two or three organizations. For example, suppose a cloud is made according to the college or the university. The number of universities, they follow the same pattern. What will happen in the universities or the colleges? They maintain the student record, they maintain the teacher record, they maintain the timetable, they maintain the fees record. And these particular things can be maintained by every college. So these type of cloud which is used by more than one organization, this is called the community cloud. Another example is, suppose they make a cloud of the hospital, for hospital, or every hospital, they are going to maintain the record of patient, they are going to maintain the record of doctors, they are going to maintain the record of diseases. So every hospital required that. So what it means, whenever this cloud is there, it is a community cloud. The number of hospitals, they have the same platform, so they use this. Clear? This is all about the different cloud deployment models.